All right, folks. Mark here, cooking books, bringing the info. So, real quick, I want to talk about, if you can make this out, I'm not sure. It's called the stochastic model and deterministic model. So, the stochastic model and deterministic model. What's up, Boo? You got to help Daddy teach, okay? You going to help me? Okay, so you got to be good. You got to be good, okay? So we're talking about the stochastic model and deterministic model. Now, the stochastic model is a model that is based off randomness and probability. Okay, so an example of a deterministic model is a model that always gives you the exact same outcome. So the stochastic model cannot be predicted because it's based off random acts and probabilities, statistics. Whereas deterministic model simply means that no matter how many times you calculate something, you're always going to get the same results, the same outcome. So a particular input will always equate a particular outcome, and that is called the deterministic model. And the reason why I want to share this with you guys because it's scientific based, right? And it pretty much governs how our lives play out in the real world, how our decisions, excuse me, it pretty much shows you how your decisions play out in the real world. Now, an example, for instance, of stochastic at play is, well, let's look at this. Here's an example, right, of both stochastic model and deterministic model played out in our real world. You get in your car, you have a GPS in your car, right? Your car has a GPS. You put the location in, right, which would be deterministic. This is deterministic, right? You put the location in, the GPS, hold on, baby, the GPS is like a map. So you put your location in. It's going to tell you exactly where you're going to go. It's going to tell you what the best routes to take. Hold on, boo boo. It's going to tell you the best routes you have to take, right? Your GPS, and it's going to give you an arrival time. So the input, which is the address you put into your GPS. Hold on, boo boo. Hold on. The input that you put in, which is the address into your GPS, your navigation system, it's going to give you a deterministic outcome. Right? It's deterministic because you know it's going to give you the exact outcome, which is the destination, your location, where you have to go. But what's stochastic, and it gives you an arrival time as well. But here's where the stochastic model or probability model comes into play. It might tell you your arrival time, right? Your arrival time is 8 p.m., right? But that arrival time is probabilistic because it's based on traffic, right? The person who's driving, the speed, the velocity at which they're going to be traveling. Uh, are they going to be pulled over by cops on the way? We don't know, right? So this is where stochastic comes into play. Your ETA that is determined by the deterministic model is not going to be accurate because though it says your arrival time is 8 p.m., we don't know exactly what time you're going to get there. What? What's up? Okay, you're helping me by being quiet, okay? All right, you got to help. You got to be quiet if you're going to help Daddy. So, yeah. So your ETA is stochastic, right? Because it's based off of a variety of things. There's variables, right? Like I said, it could be traffic. It could be the roads. Maybe you get pulled over by an officer. Who knows? Maybe you get pulled over by an officer. Who knows, right? So there's no set way to have a deterministic outcome on your ETA. You can have a deterministic outcome on the input, the address you put in. You're going to get the exact. No matter how many times you put the address in your navigation system, you're going to always get the same destination location, right? You're going to always get the output is going to be the same. You put the address, the exact output. However, what's stochastic is the ETA because there's variables. You can get pulled over by the cops. There could be traffic, bad road, the person who's driving, the velocity, the speed at which you're traveling. So all those things are going to be variables that determine the ETA, even though your ETA is deterministic based off the navigation system. So that's just a quick example of how that works. But the most important thing of why I've been studying this and why I think I want to share this with you guys is just to show you that The deterministic model applied in your everyday life is so relevant, and it predicts outcomes in our lives, right? So no matter no matter no matter how many times you do something over, if you constantly put the exact same input in, you're always guaranteed to get the same results. That's where the saying comes: if you keep doing the same thing over and over, you can't expect different results. That's based off deterministic uh, uh, principles or the deterministic model, which pretty much states that if we keep doing the same thing over and over and over, you're never going to get different results. And that is based off determinism, right? Stochastic model or stochastic principles, again, which is statistical probabilities, that the world is more governed by stochastic principles as opposed to determinism. The world broadly is more governed by stochastic principles or statistical probabilities more so than deterministic principles. The broader picture. And the reason that is true is because our Erwin Schrödinger in 1927 showed us what's called the Schrödinger's equation. And if I try to explain that to you guys, it's a mathematical equation that shows you that the whole world is based off probabilities and not determinism. But that equation is so complex. Hold on, boo. That equation is so complex. If I sat here and wrote it all out, it would take me hours and hours and hours. But the bottom line is this, though. Erwin Schrödinger in 1927 showed and proved scientifically that all of our lives is more based off the stochastic model as opposed to the deterministic model. Deterministic model would be more in line with Newtonian physics and classical mechanics. Stochastic model would be more in line with quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and more modern science as opposed to classical science. So I'm just going to keep it there for now. As you can see, my hands are full, both metaphorically and literally. Till next time, peace. Say bye. Bye.